Pathfinder tonight, and it's going to be ridiculous. And you get to join in and see the nonsense that is our Roll20 game. Basically, so I'm playing a character. It's a goblin. It's Snagshme, tiny goblin boy. We'll be starting in a second, but you guys should join in. You can hear us talk and yell at each other. Welcome to our Discord. Here we go.
It's the first expansion, and so a friend of mine has EverQuest, and it's really fun, and they want me to join. And I don't have it, and I tell my folks, but I want EverQuest for Christmas. And so we go through, and I get it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited! And so my family, how we do Christmas is we would go to church, or we would have dinner, and then go to church, and then when we came back, there was Santa at our house, which we could see putting presents behind the tree, and the Christmas tree had been lit up while we were away. My folks had friends of the family who they gave keys to dress up like Santa and put the presents under the tree when we arrived, and then snuck out the back door while we were stuck in the car with the family. But so we get there, get EverQuest, and or open the presents. I get EverQuest, and so I start installing it on my computer because we went to church twice that evening back during these days. We would do the normal church service for Sunday, and then a midnight service in German, where we would sing Silent Night in German at the end. And so I come, and I'm just shaking with excitement for this game because this is early 2000s, so it takes forever for these games to upload. I get there, I get back home, it hasn't finished uploading by the time I get back, so I have to go to bed. So I go to bed, and I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, and I go there, and it failed on the upload. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh,
and
no.
I take a look at it, and the reason why it failed on the upload is because my folks bought the expansion set, not the actual EverQuest game.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is awful.
Well intentioned, but God, that sucks.
So we ended up never actually buying the actual EverQuest game,
Oh,
which I
God.
think saved my life.
I mean, more than likely. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
No, no, they because I'm the type of person, I get very obsessed over the projects or things that I'm doing, and especially games like that. So I can't play games like World of Warcraft because I know enough about myself. I would turn into one of the people who would spend literally all of his time playing World of Warcraft.
I mean,
I just
yeah.
recognize that about myself. My family has long history of addiction problems, so I just avoid that type of stuff. But
that's
well,
fair.
there's a reason why they call it Evercrack.
Right, exactly. So, I kind of look, and I'm like, you know what? I think someone was looking out for me. I wasn't happy at the time because I didn't get the present, and I don't think I got anything else instead. But looking back, I think the best present I could have gotten was not getting Evercrack that year.
I mean, that's fair.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
That's definitely fair. Shit.
A bullet. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So the more you know.
All right, so the stream is up and running.
I only got EverQuest back in the day because my cousin actually was playing this game called Ashran's Call, which is the same kind of deal. And I went to a game store and was like, I was going to buy that. And somehow the dude there convinced me to get EverQuest, which was probably a better game overall. But being that I wanted to play it with my cousin, I don't know how the two of us being there together were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try that instead. So I never got to play with him, but EverQuest is all right for a while.
Fair. That makes sense. I'd like to try something if that's all right with you guys. I want to ask you all about your characters. And if you guys want to give me a breakdown on all of your characters, would that be something y'all are interested in?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to basically go through the list. We will start with...
Said?
Oh, no, just with everybody. So I've got the stream up and running right now, just since we're kind of killing time and waiting until we get started. What I wanted to do is I wanted to ask you all about your characters and have you guys just describe them a little bit, if you're down, if that works for all of you.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, let's start with our God, our creator of the universe, the almighty, mighty fucking sorcerer. You want to tell us a little bit about this world that we've been playing in for the past few months?
Yeah, absolutely. It is my pleasure. So this is a custom world that is in its actual fourth generation. So this world has been kind of evolving and creating and having new groups of adventurers going through it since about, I'd say 2007 is when this world
Holy
was first
crap!
put together. Yeah. So the first iteration of this world started in 2007, with a completely different gaming group where I was actually a player in this world.
What was
And
your character when you first started playing this? What were you playing as?
so my character, well, part of that, see, I don't want to give away too much of that because the characters that were part of that first adventure um, ended up being the pantheon of the original world, because that's what that story arc was the birth. So it was literally the birth of this world. So the characters that we were first playing was the original pantheon of the world, adventuring, creating the world, making the map, making the original races that populated this world, and kind of creating that backstory Cimmeralian style is what that was. And then what has happened is each time that this world has been
That's so
played in with a
cool.
different gaming group, it jumps ahead by, about 3,000 years in the timeline. So the effects that the previous group had created or done have already turned into like ancient legend by the time the new players come, and then the ancient legend from that period before turn into mythos of like core world building deity form.
So
So you guys are,
when
yeah,
you
go ahead.
first started playing, like when you first started doing this one, who was your original DM for this campaign? Like who
So
started it for you?
so the person who started this was a man named Ben Miller, and what it kind of was is we did a little bit of a rotating um, GMing style. So each of the players kind of had their turn running. So each of us could play the original pantheon of deities. But he was the one who came up with this idea that we could start an entire world from its rawest scratches. And this was back, we were playing in second edition. Uh, like second edition AD&D, and instead of playing like normal D&D classes like you would come across, we used the advanced second edition character creation module for it, which we all had to learn and basically build our classes from scratch.
Oh, that's freaking
Uh,
cool.
right. So, for instance, um, well, yeah, see, part of me wants to like hold out on telling much about my original character in that because it is mythos in the game that we are currently playing.
Well, then we can
So
definitely hold off on that. But
yeah,
that's
we'll hold off on that. But so you guys are the fourth group that has played in this world, and so decisions based off of the previous people who played it made immediate decisions in your world. So for instance, there's that ancient ruins that you guys originally adventured in, and the retreat of the elves from that area has a direct correlation to something that the previous party who ran in this world did. And your guys' interactions. So, for instance, the thing with the mole people suddenly coming out and becoming a part of the world will create a new option for races in the future and create an entire new civilization and have it put together so when the next group of people come in, all of a sudden there could be this entire rampaging group of half troll mole people who are, in control of the mountains and a strong, proud group of people. Or if Oz decides to, create this backstory that I'm having him kind of write on the side as more of a pacifist or whatever he creates, will create the religion of the mole people in the next campaign. And the next people who come across this, there will be this entire deep backstory based off of what is being created right now.
that is awesome. I like that idea a bunch. I'm actually going to use that as a segue to talk to my favorite mole troll person in the world, Dr. Copter Chops, Mr. Oz. Tell me about Thorn. What are you thinking about him?
Thorn is, well, to be fair, his full name is Falfarar, which in German means pile driver.
I did not know
So-
that. That's beautiful. That makes so much more sense.
So yeah, and when you think of a mole person, what do? Well, they are creating piles of dirt. So he's a literal pile driver. But Fall, PFAHL in German has multiple connotations. It can be pile, but it also directly translates to thorn. But the character of Thorn is how he got his nickname was he was the thorn in the side of the elders for constantly asking too many questions. Instead of blindly, no pun intended for mole people, blindly accepting everything that was being handed to him, he says, well, why does this happen? What does this mean? Why are our traditions? And then, they're like, Thorn, run along, go do something else. So when he found these new living gods that saved him and his people, he now has so many more questions that he looks forward to finding the answers to. And he really, really looked up to one of the other characters, Roderick, for essentially taking him out of the dark and into the light in a very literal sense.
I love that. I was actually really surprised, like when we found the mole people and you decided to do a recreation with him, the way that you've played him so far, the way that he learns things from the people around him, it's so freaking cool. Actually, I'm gonna use that. What's what is Thorn's favorite meal? Like if Thorn was to eat something and try to describe what it tasted like, if he was to have his own restaurant, let's say he's working under Roderick in his bar and he wants to really share like what the best meal is, what would he recommend from Roderick's bar and how would he describe it?
So the first course of the evening, we shall be having a spatchcocked chicken, which means you break into the spinal column of this game hen, and we're going to roast it over an open flame with lemon and rosemary and black cracked pepper. We will then be having a side of roasted potatoes, which also can be covered in a very fine truffle oil to bring out more of the earthy tones from the potatoes.
I hope the next time I'm at Wasteland, if I come over to your camp and you make some food, I really want you to describe what the drinks are and the food are in that voice. It is soothing. It is a soothing voice. Oh, dude, I love your character. Now, Byron, is this your first time? Was this like the first campaign that you've jumped in on?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, tell me, like, what are your, how did you decide what you wanted to play as? Like, have you been digging the whole, you're playing as a wizard currently, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, tell me about your, what's his name? What does he do? I mean, I've seen what he does, but like, with our lovely viewers that'll eventually be turning in maybe far off in the future to look at this world that we're making a mess out of, tell me about your character.
So, Alatar, of the sixth circle, I think I'm up to now. The Mage's
You are
Tower.
sixth circle. The real easy way to keep track of it is the circle that you are is your level.
So there you go.
There we go. That makes so much sense. Perfect.
Wizards love logic, so yeah. So Alatar, I'd say he's a real wizard's wizard. He's all about the esoteric knowledge. He's part mystic, if you will, part scientist. Loves learning. So yeah, he's the classic wizard archetype, if you will, I guess. And I think for him, playing him anyway, one of my big things, I wanted to make sure that despite his kind of obsession with knowledge and learning. He never let it get out of hand in a way that it took him in a direction that made him a dick. Really, is what it came down to. I didn't want to be a dick. You know, he's got this core group of friends that he's kind of fallen in with. You know, he'll do anything to support them, help them. You know, anything he can learn outside of something that would mess with that, he's all about it. But you know, at his heart, that you know, being a good person is kind of always the most important to him.
Oh, dude, it's I remember. I think we were in the, I want to say the sewers, and I don't remember the spell that you used, but the amount of damage you had cranked out. What were the spells that you? Do you remember what you had at that time? I don't know if it was Fireball. I know it wasn't Magic Missile because we've already seen you use that because that's such an iconic. Let's fuck up shit spell.
It would probably be Flaming Sphere.
That was
if I
it.
recall correctly,
Holy
which is a monster of a spell.
crap, man.
They touched my monkey. Carl, my familiar. I don't fuck with my monkey.
Tell me about Carl. What's Carl like getting into? Because we haven't seen Carl in a little bit. What was your idea behind Carl when you had him?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool to have a pet monkey that, like you could probably talk to and stuff. Really what it came down to is I thought that would be really handy and familiar. He has hands. He can hold.
He's got 4 hands.
So,
He's good.
Yeah,
like he said.
Can go grab things.
You know, at a certain point, you can actually give him enough use magical devices where you can give him a wand, and he can like run around like a monkey using the wand, just bashing people with it, casting spells.
Oh man, I don't know if I want to trust Carl with a wand, but
Probably shouldn't.
Probably at some point. So Carl, he likes to hang. He just kind of like lives in Alatar's robes for the most part, which is a really lazy way of not dealing with him as a character when I don't want to use him for anything. But yeah, you know, he pops his head out from time to time. He might have some nice quips to say about some stuff. Will does a great job of actually himself of kind of playing Carl. I like letting him roll with that. But yeah, he's my little buddy.
I feel bad for Will sometimes because we've given him so many additional characters to play.
Oh man,
like
we're all about it. Though occasionally, like, and with every D&D game, and it's weird that it happens where you just originally put together like a throwaway NPC. It's like, oh shoot, I hadn't planned on having an NPC here right now. Choose a voice, choose a nationality. All right, random name, and then the players are like, this person intrigues us. Tell me more about your backstory and your history. And it's like, oh, God. Well, I guess this is going to be added to the permanent lore of the world now. Let's make notes.
Hell yeah.
One of my favorite Byron reactions to something was, I don't care how big the room is, I said cast Fireball.
That's amazing. That's a good thing. Now, one of my favorite characters in this game, it's what my character Snagsme aspires to be. She has her name in the game, which is Taz, but her true name, the best name, is Tall Goblin. Now, Snagsme is a little bit impartial to that name. Ember, you want to tell us about the tallest of goblins?
So, Taz is starting to sort of develop more than where I initially. Taz really came from a pretty base place of, I like roguing, we need a healer, how about a crazy cat lady?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was hunting through all the deities, and I was like, hey, you should use Bast. And I was like, that actually kind of works, and it connects into her world. Taz has been a really good way for me to vent life frustrations. She's been a lot of murder hobo-y, but I'm trying to work on her building more of her background and where she comes from. Like, she's very self-centered and self-centric, very like, I'll help kind of take, like, I'll take care of these people because that helps take care of me, but ultimately, like, she's very used to being on her own and support herself. I mean, she's a rogue. She's been part of a guild of rogues. She's very, like, used to a lot of backstabby people, and she's very blunt and very street smart. So her and the wizard have a lot of conflicts that happen, and I think sometimes she feels like she's babysitting without getting paid.
I mean, that's fair.
She's still waiting for the big payoff, and but for some strange reason, she's sort of affectionate and continuing on with these people. But she's got an interesting connection going with her cat goddess, and then still kind of balancing out and sort of driving that. So there's like an interesting spiritual connection that kind of sort of happened because she took care of a kitten, which is works great for me. But sometimes, like some of the weird negotiation stuff that she has that our party has come up with has not come from me because I want to kill the thing. The only cool thing to happen for me where stuff was supposed to die is we first got attacked by a lion. In our very first game, we got attacked by a lion. I was like, I can't kill that. I can't kill that. I have to talk my way out of this. So I made friends with the lion.
See, no, like you've got these points in clerics, but I think there's a really big conflict that's going on in this game, specifically with you and two inanimate objects. You carry them around. Of course, I'm talking about, I think, Mr. Death and Mr. Stabby. Are those their names?
Mr. Stabby and Mr. Death. Those are her daggers that she earned as being a second story girl and are her like pride and joy because she earned those babies. So there's Mr. Stab and Stabby and Mr. Death.
Now, like with those two, I've seen you pull some amazing rolls when they're needed between sneaking and everything else. Like, I mean, you are pretty much the sneak god of this party. I remember a couple of fights though where Mr. Stabby and Mr. Death have kind of let you down. What's going on with those two things? Which one's your favorite? And have you put those weapons in timeout at any point in time?
Not having to put them into timeout just yet. It's more just like sometimes I go in and I want to finish with Mr. Death because I think it's kind of a cool thing. Like, ooh, it's time for Mr. Death, and I'll roll like low and I'll be like, I guess I'm gonna stab you twice with Death. They just roll with it. Like, no, they haven't really put on timeout. It's just lately I haven't been allowed to kill people. I just flat out haven't been allowed to kill people because when the party says no, we can't kill them, I'm like,
That's fair. That is fair. Now I'm gonna throw because we're waiting on our last member, Tilly Wubby. I think I'm gonna throw her under the bus a little bit. Will, you and her set up this big reveal in the last game. What all do you have planned for Wubby? Like what do you think of like when you're DMing for Wubby? Like, and everybody else, if y'all want to chime in, what's the relationship between us and our little gnome that's not here currently? Because I was not prepared for the reveal on the last game.
You talk about babysitting and not getting paid.
yeah,
Right?
Or getting drugs. She's also a drug addict. Don't forget about the fact that she's a drug addict and has flipped us all drugs on multiple occasions.
I mean, yeah.
That's true. I didn't ask for those drugs, and I took them anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more than slipping. If you were like, here, let's light this friendship candle right before your bachelor party, Snagshme. Don't worry, it's a perfectly ordinary candle. Oh,
That's fair.
Why am I feeling funny?
Why is this happening to us?
To be fair though, that led to probably one of my favorite like little adventures we've had in this whole game.
Oh, the bachelor party was great.
Yeah, the bachelor party I think is when the characters and everything kind of like happened. Like that's when we all discovered that Taz likes girls and that Taz will swear far and loves girls.
That's fair. That is fair.
And is an excellent pole dancer, by the way. Excellent.
Yeah, I think you rolled pretty high on that performance, didn't you?
she like rolled 2 natural 20s in a row because she rolled a natural 20, and then the half-elf male exotic dancer got real upset about it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he cast grease on the stage, and she needed to make a reflex save, and she rolled another natural 20 immediately afterward. So that was
That was
an
good.
exciting time for everyone.
That was so good. I love it.
I made some good goals
Yeah.
that night too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the narcissistic pitch now and talk about
Yeah, talk
little
about Snagshme.
little Snaggy. Will, you want to ask questions to spur stuff on?
Yeah, so, I mean, when we were originally talking about Snagshme, because for the original character creation, your main idea was that you wanted to play a druid who was a cannibal. Like, that was the
Yes.
original idea.
Yes.
And so what inspired you to decide that for your role-playing character? And we eventually ended up on Snagshme, and you can talk a little bit more about what exactly makes Snagshmi so snaggy.
So basically, Will, you know motherfucking blankets already, and I don't know if the rest of the group does. So motherfucking blankets, or just fucking blankets as we call him at Wasteland, is he's a good friend of mine. He's like a DM that I've played a lot of games with. We've been in a lot of Pathfinder and D&D games together. They actually are a part of the stream Dragons and Things is the stuff that they do, or it might be Dragons and Stuff now. It's been retitled, but he was running an Amnesia campaign. And we're playing this Amnesia campaign. We only got like 2 games in, and we've got this like tabaxi, we've got a bird person, we've got this kick-ass dwarf, and all of these characters are super cool. And my character, I come to find out about 30 minutes in, is just a person, like just a human being. That's it. And I looked at Adam while he's playing. I'm like, fine, you're gonna make me a human being. You're not gonna give me any special powers. Then I am going to mess with this campaign as much as I can. And this whole the beginning of this campaign, we're sneaking through this prison, and there's a weapon, and Adam's trying to sell me on this weapon because he's doing what a lot of DMs do. They try to very gently let you know what's going on. And I choose to pick up the weapon, put it on the ground, and then pick a torch up off the wall. And for the next hour, I start nailing my attack rolls and sneak rolls, and I've effectively start building this character in my mind, which is Leatherface, which is attacking these guards with a torch while they're sleeping. And after he killed the first one, he gets ready to leave, and Adam's like, okay, did you guys do anything? I'm like, yes, I remove the guard's face, and I wear it as a mask. So then at that point, I commit. I'm like, you know what, we're going to make this as weird as we can, because if I'm not going to have any powers, I'm not going to know what they are. I am just going to do whatever I can to just get rid of the bodies. And he's like, well, you don't have anywhere to hide it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I eat the body. Adam looks at me. He's like, you sure? He's like, you got to roll for it. And I rolled for it and got a natural 20 and got rid of the body. A couple weeks later, we're prepping for detonation. And Adam's talking about this game. And he's talking about who everybody else was. And he stops. He's like, yeah, and you're Druid. And I stop him because we hadn't figured out what our classes were yet. And I'm like, you made me a fucking Druid? And he's like, yeah, you have a cannibal druid. So it's been an inside joke that the next time that I play a game, if I can make a cannibal druid, I have to. I hadn't realized that we could play goblins as races. So when you sent me this the character sheet for a goblin, I was just like, this is amazing. This is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, my goal as a GM and a storyteller is like several-fold. One of them is to like, the rules are meant to be bent around to make more interesting stories. So if people want to play something weird like a cannibal druid, I'm like, cool. I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, human cannibal, that would be interesting. Ooh, elf cannibal, that gives it a really interesting flair. Maybe like consuming the power to make, them more so. And then I'm like, wait a second, this is Blake we're talking about. He's practically a goblin as it is. And I sent it to you, and you loved it, and so we just kind of rolled with it. And it's really what's interesting to me is your opinions on goblin rights and society in this campaign, and how you're shifting, as I said, because all of this will have major implications in the future, and how your character is shifting goblin rights in the entirety of this world. You want to talk a little bit about Snagshmi and his views and what he's currently trying to do with that?
Well, see, I have a problem with bringing that up because it's there's 2 ways I want to answer this. So I guess I'll answer the heartfelt way and then the more heartfelt way after. Goblins are traditionally, and the rest of you that have played a bunch could probably speak to this too, goblins are cannon fodder. I mean, would you guys agree with that? Whenever you have a game that's running, we need a character that we can throw for our grand heroes to fight. We don't have anything. Okay, let's give them goblins.
Oh, yeah, they're total red shirts, man.
Yeah,
they're the first thing that you fight and murder.
Exactly. They're disgusting. Yeah. They're gross. They steal stuff, and they're little monsters. Like, that's what's living under your bed is a goblin. And it's when we started playing, and I was thinking about this. It really clicked for me when we got to the second part of the campaign, when we're in that city, and you're saying how people are looking at you, and they're kind of weirded out. They don't know why there's goblins here.
Yeah, and when they're normally monsters in the game. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where when we found those talismans to change what he looks like, playing a character that has to basically continuously hide, and he's been kicked out of his own tribe, I was like, well, what would drive this character? He's probably really irritated about being kind of shoved under the rug the whole time. So pushing for goblins to be a part of society, one, kind of gets him in an area where he can exist as his own little goblin self, but then two, to try to make it so that his people are no longer fodder. The joke throwaway answer for that is it's much easier to consume your meal if you're invited to the dinner table. So I'm thinking pushing for goblins' rights to where they're everywhere. It'll be a lot easier for Snags Me to get a free meal every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's
Look
what
at
the
another
goblin-
goblin.
Exactly.
Thing to do to seek an altruistic end for totally selfish means.
Exactly. That's what I've been thinking this whole time. It's been hard. Like I've been really amazed, like between all of you guys, how you guys have been playing your characters. It's been so much freaking fun. Like seeing Altair, like I can't, Byron, for this being your first game that you've played, just how well you roleplay your character. It's that conversation you had in the train about the bug-sized bear. Like just I didn't have the camera turned on that time, so I didn't see your face, but I could just hear it in your voice how excited he was to get this bugbear. I was like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful. I love this." Like I've been amazed with this whole group.
Just to clarify, it is not a bugbear. It is a bug-sized bear. Two very different things. Bugbears are, ferocious monsters that are very territorial. This is literally a bear, which is the size of bug. I believe I called him Thunderlord, Destroyer of Worlds.
Dude, I love Thunderlord. I'm going to make it my mission this entire game not to let Princess Tiny Feet eat Thunderlord.
See, now that you say that, I'm going to be making Princess Tiny Feet try to eat
I know you
Thunderlord
are.
more
Like
often.
I was surprised this didn't happen the last time.
I'm gonna be real mad if your spider eats my bear.
I'm gonna be sad about it, to be honest. Next me's gonna have a mix of problems with that.
Eldar to pay a lot of money to get that thing.
Yeah, he did. How much was it? How much did you pay to like unpetrify that thing?
400 something gold. It was not unsubstantial.
He had to pay a 6th level wizard to cast a 4th level spell, like Stone to Flesh. He paid a wizard to cast Stone to Flesh on this little stone statue, like bug-sized bear.
It's beautiful. God, it's beautiful. So, do we want to get started and run through the other stuff, or are we planning on waiting for the Great Woogie or Woogie?
Well, let's see here. It's 8:09, so she should be almost done with work right about now, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
she texted me and said that she just got off work and she's on her way home.
Cool. Do you know about how long it takes her? I mean, because
Shrug.
so while we were talking, I continued to help some leveling up. So in the background, Oz, I leveled up your character except for your skill points. You got
cool.
a class feat this level. I gave you the intimidating prowess feat, which was something that we were talking about last game because you were wanting to be able to add your strength modifier to your intimidate checks, and that happened to be one of the feats that you could take. So if you want to sub that out for a different feat instead, a different type of limited combat feat, I can give you the list, but that's pretty on point with what we were talking about. If you want.
Cool. Yeah, I'll. How many points do I have to disperse?
So in your skills, let me just pull it up. You have 2. You have 2 skill points that you can put where you desire. And of course, as I said, because I originally put the skills out where I thought that they were useful, so you can adjust them wherever you want, since we never really put that together for you. So if you want to adjust the ranks in any other setup to something that you feel more appropriate to how Thorn is put together, that's.
I am gonna say this. I love these guys.
campaigns together if you want. Like,
I would, yeah, no, I would absolutely love to hear that. Like,
yeah.
I can roll with it, man. You are
So,
the greatest storyteller.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I do what I can. One of the things that I like doing is finding out. The first thing is what particularly drives any individual character in what their goals and desires are, and then I like having the sometimes put together moral questions for the party. So instead of just going around and doing what we joke about as murder hobo. Oh, you come across the thing, kill the monsters, get the gold, buy the loot, so you can kill bigger monsters.
Well, I mean,
and
that is the
bigger loot.
most important part of the game, is being murder hobos. Like, I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
clearly.
right?
Yeah, it's not a role-playing game at all. The rolling is the dice rolling, not the roles that we play. But putting together moral questions on what the characters consider is right and wrong, and what they're willing to give away and sacrifice to accomplish their goals. So, there are times where it's like, oh, cool, we can take this shortcut to be able to get this thing done really easily, but at what price? And
Right.
sometimes the party goes for it like gung ho, like for instance with the entire what was originally just a tiny little joke side plot of the Nooks. Your counterpoint, the bard, Nooks, has turned into a major, story arc, and seeing how far your party is willing to be in this war with this other basically gang. And even as far as
Fucking Tom.
Fucking Tom.
And even as far as the interactions that you guys had with the doppelgangers at the end of this train story arc. These were doppelgangers who clearly murdered 2 people. You identified that they murdered 2 people, but you came across and you're like, wait a second, these are just creatures trying to kind of find their own way through reality, and this is just how they go about it.
I just want to
sure,
say,
they're
like,
monsters, but
goblins,
so are you
we don't
guys.
need that as, like, we do not need those in our lives. I just want to say that. I think the doppelgangers are awful, and the goblins don't need them as a competition to be part of this world. That is how I feel about that, sir.
But there was a long question on whether you guys wanted to kill the doppelganger at the end, or let it live and fight out justice, or just let it go.
Yeah,
And it's
Alatar
questions like that.
definitely, that was a conflict for him. He really tried to hold out until it was kind of shown that maybe it would be for the better, the greater good to give him the old neck slit there. That was rough. He didn't want it to happen.
Well, and I feel like one of the moral questions that I'm waiting for with Taz, I'm kind of waiting for that thing, because right now she lets the group be her conscience regularly, and I'm sort of waiting for that moment where she just goes, "Fuck the group, I'm gonna do what I want." Like, there's gonna be someone who's gonna push her so far that she's gonna do something, and there's gonna be repercussions, and I'm very curious to where we get to that point.
I think it's going to be relatively soon with the way things have been going so far. I'm amazed at how well put together Taz has been with all of our shenanigans, because we've messed up a couple of your sneaky stuff like a few times.
Well, and I've messed up some of my own sneaky stuff, and that's the funny thing is because I'm dual. I started this going, okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit rogue, and then I'm gonna move more into cleric. But this last level, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I had been very spiritual. I felt like I had been more roguey. So I was like, no, let's take another level in rogue and sort of see where the story goes, to see whether I, start delving back into the spiritual elements of it. Because for like a couple times I was like, nah, she's really connecting with her deity, and there's things that are happening. But this last one, I was like, nah, I'm straight up just want to murder hobo, kill things, and find things and loot things, and it hasn't quite. But now we're kind of on a track where she's having some more connections with the deity and having some more spirituality aspects. So I'm really interested to see where we play with that.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And what's interesting for her is that she's a cleric without really any cleric church ties.
Yeah.
She doesn't belong to a church. She doesn't belong to an order or anything. The deity kind of chose her, and while like while when we were originally talking about it, we were talking about Bass as the deity, but it is actually based off of, as I said in the past, characters from the previous game. So the deity that you are currently following is based off of the story arc of the previous campaign, like 2 campaigns ago.
Ooh, that's cool.
Right, and so that's it's actually based off of deep lore, and you haven't like, and it's just hasn't really come up, but you haven't really talked to you haven't reached out to any other clerics to kind of ask what's going on, what is this, who is this deity. You just know that you have an affinity for cats, and you happen to be lucky, and you're
Yeah,
getting
cats,
weird nightmares.
and that's the weird thing. Like, I just haven't felt any urge with Taz to ask any questions about it. Just like, huh, some weird shit going down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just roll with it. Eventually, maybe she'll get to that point, but I mean, she'll have to seek outside help. There's no way in hell she's gonna ask the wizard.
Right. And the truth is you don't have to. Like if it's your character, it's like, oh cool, this is just part of who I am and what I have going on. That's fine. And the story will kind of warp around the characters in that way. So it makes it very interesting for me as a storyteller as well. Because, each time you guys do something weird or interesting or creating new political ties, I'm marking it in a separate book altogether for future situations. Like a really good example of a minor thing that will turn into its own major thing in a future game, and I'll tell you guys about this because it probably won't come across again in this story arc. But while you guys were at the bachelor party, remember that half-orc dancer who wanted to join the military, but she was
Yeah.
dancing her way, and you guys funded her a huge sum of money to be able to do that, and encouraged her to go forward and challenge this. In the next story arc, there will be a subsect of half-orc battle dancers.
See, and that's what I wanted to have happen. That's why I told her go do those things. That's amazing. I love that.
Mm-hmm. So
Basically, Schnagsme is paying strippers to achieve their goals.
right.
He's got a
But
weird
so-
view on how things work.
So there'll be like this elite group of, half-orc, women who are battle dancers, who go forward and combine performance skills with the dance and created their own entire section and will be elite warriors. And the party will come across that. It'll be just kind of a footnote for them. But if the next campaign ends up being with you guys again, let's say 100 years into and story arc's future, you can see that and be like, oh my god, this is what happened to these characters, and oh wait, this changed this. Oh god. And that kind of
That's so cool.
keeps
I like
the
it.
world some cohesion, and it creates like deep mythos in the world. So
I love it.
fantastic.
Some of my favorite type of games are always the ones where your decisions really impact the game world, and whether it be like a tabletop game, video game, whatever it is. I love seeing something come up later on. They're like, oh my gosh, I remember this is because this happened, or I chose this, or so and so did this.
Mm-hmm.
It really just kind of makes everything come full circle, and it feels a lot realer. And it's nice knowing your decisions you make are potentially going to have an impact later on. It kind of gives you a reason to think a little harder before doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm super interested in seeing like how the rest of this world kind of comes together. Like you've done such a good job with it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for instance, and a lot of it is just a continuation of this big story from world to world. Like the city you guys are currently working in, like part of the reason why I was able to create so many interesting and different arcane stories that is going on simultaneously while you guys are here is because this city is a canonical city in this world, going back to kind of the first era. You know, the first run of the players. When I was a player in this world, this city was part of that world. And so throughout each time that players have done it, they've done a little bit of a little change here, a little change here. And so there's layer upon layer of interesting things for you guys to be able to experience and go through. So I guess with that being said, I think now is a fantastic time to jump over just for a little bit and see if there's any like between game things that we want our characters to be able to take care of while we are in the city of Ruby. Now, one of the points that I mentioned before, this is not going to be advancing the storyline currently. So even though I had originally said that this chapter of the game has a specific timeline where things are going, right now we are going to be in between time. So if you guys want to go explore the city, perhaps purchase new items or gather some equipment, now would be a fantastic time to go forward and do that and learn maybe a little bit of lore about the city. So what I will do is grab myself a little note card so I can write down what everybody wants to do, and I'll start from left to right on my screen. So Ember, do you have any particular things that you would like to do, explore, or see while you happen to be in the Ruby Metropolis?
As we were playing last time, Taz has found a small little group of thieves. Were they halflings?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I would like.
Oh, we seem to have lost you there, Ember.
Sorry. I want to. There were 6 of them, right? 6?
That is correct. There were 6 of them.
I would like to get 6 daggers.
Murder all of the children.
newfound-
Get rid of the halflings. They're a bane on
Apprentices?
existence.
Minions. We're figuring out what they are, but I want to get some daggers for my
Disciples?
Disciples, yes. We'll see how quickly I become Fagin, but yes, that.
Okay.
This sounds like a very Ides of March scenario.
No, they won't stab me. They won't stab me.
It'll be fine. Weaponize the children. It's perfect.
I'm giving them life skills.
After all, they did a really bad job of like trying to take you up the first time. You need to take care of the second story, kids. You can't have them be so bad at it.
Yeah, they need to be better.
See? Exactly. And also, when I was going through all my old notes and post notes, I discovered that I have more money than I thought I did, so I can afford to buy daggers. Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, you guys have.
I have more money than I thought I did, Trick.
Well, you guys have gathered up quite a storehouse of adventures because you got paid. Nobility for the looting of the underground Nook facility. There are those gemstones that you plucked from within the doppelganger / mimic situation. So, there's a pretty penny or two in pockets.
And I want to use those gemstones, and I'm gonna be like, okay, so I'm gonna commission daggers basically, and I'm gonna have 6 of those gemstones put in each of those pretty little daggers for my little minions.
Doing it for the kids.
I love that. That is amazing. That'll turn into that, like, as we were talking about creating things that will create, story arc in the future. Like, stuff like this is 100% the type of stuff that will possibly turn into story arc things in the future, depending upon how it goes. Snagshme, what would you like to do?
Well, the super honorable and friendly Snagshme, I believe, was given a mission to bring some goods outside of the city, I'm going to grab Princess Tinyfeet and prepare to bring those out of the city at night.
Cool. That particular story arc is an adventure piece.
Okay.
So you can do the preparation for it. However, since that has encounters and combat, possibly, and is designed for the entire party of 5, what I would say is you can do any recon or preparation for it.
Okay.
But
yeah, what I'd like to do then, if I'm just going to recon, would be I'm going to see if I can figure out an easier way to get in and out of the city without people detecting us. While doing that, I will be using my little halfling disguise and then the little dog disguise for Princess Tinyfeet as we try to find ways in and out of the city, or if we can go check out that market during the day also, just to see if there's anybody that might be able to assist us.
Cool. So you want to try and visit and when you say market, you're talking about the black market or the regular market?
Wherever we're selling the stuff to.
Got it. So you're going to check out number 17 where the black market is during the day.
Yes. Yeah, just to try to get eyes on how to get in and out quickly without being caught.
All right. Fantastic. Oz. Thorn, what would you like to do?
He wants to talk to I guess, what was it, the nephew of Gaylord that was saved?
Yes.
So he wants to find out more that is happening between these two rival families. You said the Ravenholms and the Gaylords?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Ravenholms are the people who their lord and lady were consumed by the doppelgangers on the train. Yep. All right. Fantastic. Byron, what would you like to do?
Well, I think I need to a few things. I need to introduce Lord Thunder Destroyer of Worlds to Carl. They really haven't met yet. I don't know how that's gonna go, and I think I need to figure out some sort of like living, carrying situation for Lord Thunder. He's a little too small probably to be like riding around in my pocket. I don't really know what I can get for him. Some sort of ride-along contraption house, but I gotta take care of the little guy.
Got it. All right. Fantastic. So, Ember, you go forward, and do you have any special, like, engraving that you want to put in the daggers? Are they just, I mean, because each of those gemstones are about worth 100 gold pieces on their own, we had determined. So, do you want to have the daggers themselves engraved in some sort of special way?
Nah, I don't want. See, this is the thing. If they lose the weapon, you don't want people to tie it back to you. So you need it to be just special enough so you want to keep it, but not so special enough that they can tie you to the murder. See, there's logic.
Fantastic. So, do you want any special material made out of it, or just plain steel?
Oh, what are my options on my beautiful special stuff? What could it be made out of?
Right. Well, I mean, some common things that are used is silver. There is alchemical silver as well, which deals extra damage to shape changers. Mithril is probably a little out of the price range of what you would want to be spending on these type of things. There is cold iron, which is good at dealing damage against fae and fairies.
I feel like that alchemical silver is a good idea because she's just fresh dealing with doppelgangers, and there may still be more around, and she's super edgy on the shape changer thing. So I think that's a good place to go with it, is the alchemical silver.
Interesting. All right.
Every time you say interesting, I get more and more afraid.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's so cool. No, these are going to be really. This is really cool. I like this a lot.
I would like to blame Gentlemen Bastards for the fact that I'm super excited about this, and that now I have minions, and now I'm just like really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm just looking up the price of alchemical silver here for you, so I can tell you exactly how much it costs. Silver weapons. Cool. All right. Cool. So the daggers will cost 40 gold pieces each.
Oh, I can still handle that.
Cool. Fantastic. So you have it bound in silver. Got it.
Yeah, I can definitely afford that.
Little Mr. Snagshme is plotting revenge on people.
Fantastic.
These are good starter murder weapons for the children.
He's planning on murdering so many people. All of them.
And you say that you ask for 6 identical daggers made out of the alchemical silver.
I'm sorry.
give
Do you mean children?
Children.
The children.
Yes. And that is what they will be called now. All right, the children.
You got your own kilt going, Tall Goblin.
Love it. Yes, I want this. Bring me my minions. Yes, please,
Cool.
my children, my lovely children.
So here's a suggestion for you for next level. Let me pull this up here for you. I normally don't allow players to take this.
Oh, that's always famous last words. Let's see what I done.
How can we game break?
So, what I would say, I will let you do this, and your next feat at 7th level, I sent it on the in the game. That's the feat that you would need to take to make this stick. Because that is the 7th level feat. So I would allow you to start having this feat,
I think she's gonna end up with a child army. Our tall goblin Taz, our half-orc, is going to have her own children army. I don't know how problematic that is, but this is gonna be really, really good. See, Taz's character, or Ember's character Taz, has been doing a very, very good job of just playing well in general. Snagshme doesn't have the charisma to get his little army together, so he's been trying to force people to do it. Taz has a high enough charisma score that she can just convince people to fight for her. In the last game, she was attacked by a bunch of children that were hired by fucking Tom to try to get rid of her, and managed to convince them and intimidate them into following her instead. She's going to have an army of little halflings with daggers. That is a cult. Her church will be a cult. Good job, Taz. God, this is going to be great.
Which are, and the only difference between them is each of the gemstones are a different color along the 6 primary colors. Even though there's 7, but indigo and violet are close enough where most people can't tell the difference.
No, they're not soulstone.
When their powers combine, Captain Planet.
Captain Rainbow. Cool. And yeah, so you get these daggers crafted, and later in the evening, you come back and go up to the second story, and they're all huddled, in the next to the chimney of the roof that you had originally found their camp in. Yet again, it's in terrible conditions, barely held together. A draping cloth is all the protection versus the elements that they have. Are you sneaking up on them, or are you just kind of walking up?
I'll be nice and I'll just walk up on them and just walk on them and say, "Hello,
Cool.
hello,
They
is everyone there?"
Cool. When you first start making noise along the way, they immediately grab cudgels to protect themselves, and then they see that it's you. And what is their general reaction to this? Uh, Slightly positive. They're like, oh, I see that it is Mistress uh Mistress. It is so good to see you again, Taz. We haven't caused any more problems. We swear. Why are you back
Oh,
here?
I know you haven't caused any problems. I would know if you caused any problems. So,
Hmm.
all of you, um, judging by how you handled trying to capture me, y'all suck at this job and at this life, and you need some help, and I'm here to help you. So, first step on this journey is admitting there's a problem. We all admit there's a problem. And second step is proper weapons. And I lay out each of the six daggers in front of them.
Fantastic. Their eyes go absolutely wide. Go ahead. Make me a charisma check as well. You'll get a +4 bonus since you're basically buying them off as well.
Sorry, somebody closed your character sheet. 1 second.
Eh, no problem. Fantastic. So that is a 21. So they are up and following. It's like, wait, these are for us?
Here, here's the deal. You don't sell these. You use these. These are special, and I'll pull out Mr. Stabby and Mr. Death.
Okay.
These were given to me. I earned these working for the second story. I now present you with your first dagger, and you will earn these. You don't sell them, you use them, you keep them clean, you keep them by your side. This is your first pure weapon, and made for each of you. But don't sell it, don't give it away. The only way it should be taken from you is in someone else's back. Okay?
Of course. Whatever you say, mistress. We will guard these with our lives. And if it is not too much to ask, daggers are good, but would you be able to, give us food and shelter as well?
Well,
Or, and one of the other ones will whack the one that said, no, didn't you just listen to her? We have to use these daggers to be able to earn our way through food and shelves. It is not of the path if we do not fight and earn for it ourselves. These daggers are the tools that we will use to accomplish and raise ourselves high in the mistress's eyes.
I toss a silver to that one. Just a
Oh,
little silver.
fantastic. He is going to look exceptionally smug about it.
Oh my god.
Now, here's another rule. Don't stab your friends in the back. Not yet. Not till they've earned it. Not right now. But don't. These are your brothers and sisters. Don't stab them in the back. Unless you're getting paid.
Got it. Yeah.
We have a new special effect. It's called smokescreen. Ah, now they can't see me. I'm safe. She's getting a child army. Seriously. If you guys could hear what I'm hearing right now, she's convincing them to be stealthy and gather stuff from people. This is brilliant.
Of course, mistress. It will be our honor. And with that, they'll go about gathering their daggers. And in fact, here, Ember, since this is kind of your backstory thing, I had originally said the 6 colors of the rainbow, but I figure, you know what? Might as well let you choose what the colors of the daggers are. So if you want to choose 6 colors of the daggers, let me know, and I will write it in, and it'll turn into possible. I mean, if you're taking the leadership feat, this will turn into a thing.
Yeah,
No.
I'll write it down.
Cool. Or just tell me, because I have my little note card here for my master
have a-
notes.
This is why Will, also known as the motherfucking sorcerer, is such an amazing DM, is because he loves the story aspect of all of this. And he comes up with the coolest side quests in the world for people to do. He is freaking fantastic. Oh my god, this is great. I love this. Jesus Christ, this is so good. I'm going to be right back. I have to go use the little goblin's room.
Cool.
I don't
So
want you
there
guys
is
to miss
red,
what's going
blue,
on.
yellow,
So I'll be
purple,
right
black,
back.
and green. Fantastic. I will be writing up more story and interesting things about that. So that will continue to come into play in the city of Ruby and further in the world. Up next is Schnagsme. Schnagsme, you are currently
I
going
lied,
out
I'm
through
back.
the city. You are heading past the gate up to the northern city, and you're in your halfling disguise, you said, correct?
Yes, I've got Princess Tiny Feet. She looks as that giant Saint Bernard.
Yeah.
I think. Or no, do we go with a Saint Bernard or do we go with a Mastiff?
Whichever you would prefer.
Let's go with a big fuzzy Tibetan Mastiff. I think that's more accurate for all the hair that's on her legs.
Fantastic. Yes. So jet black mastiff, hobbling around.
I love it.
And you head to the outer gate, and the guards, are there, and they say, "Whoa, young child, what are you doing out this direction? Very, very dangerous part of the city that you're heading out to. Where's your folks?" Because the disguise does make you look like a child as well.
Perfect. My mom and pop, they were selling food out here. I'm just going to find them.
Cool. Make me a bluff check.
Ah, crap. I seem to have forgotten how bad his charisma is. 1 second.
Stealth and recon is not Schnagsme's specialty.
It's not a natural 1. Oh, God.
It isn't. Let's see how the GM they'll look at one another and say, "Listen, kid, we know what you're up to along this way. We're not just going to let you go out and cause trouble and get yourself into some seedy bar and go out and pinch some barmaid skirts out in the outer city."
Well, okay. I guess I just want to know how to get back in if I've ever stuck outside the walls. There were some really, really creepy people that came into the city, and if I ever need to run away, I want to know how to run in and out of here without getting in trouble. How do you guys get through the city so quickly?
Inquisitive young mind. The other guard will make me another either charisma or bluff check.
They're
however
both
you want.
terrible. Let's
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
go. Let's. Do you want me to do bluff or do you want me to do diplomacy?
Whichever I would say diplomacy is probably
There we
more
go.
accurate.
That's slightly better than bluffing, and it has nothing to do with my score.
You're only at a -2 penalty on these things. It's part of role playing there. Oh, they fail on it.
Fuck yeah!
Look at that.
Fuck
Natural
yeah!
3. They'll kind of look proud and happy. Yes, finally the respect that they deserve. Being able to be guards the entire time, and getting the proper respect. Well, they go, well, the ways that we go fastest through the city. If you can see directly to the south here is the gnomish engineering area, and we're given occasional experimental objects to be able to recall to danger faster around the city. So each of us, and he'll pull up a little coin, has the ability to call for reinforcements to the entire area, and they'll get back to us. So we're able to go back and forth very quickly that way. As for paths, we have they'll show a wand that they have, and he pushes a button, and the top of the wand kind of starts blinking red and blue, and start making a wailing sound. Wah! Wah! Wah!
I hate this so much. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And he holds it kind of like a weapon as well. Doubles for all manner of things.
Well, like I like how you guys do your job. If I ever saw somebody that was unsavory and trying to sneak stuff in, and they wanted to like, you guys needed to intercept them or get them, where should I send them to? Like, what's the areas where most of the guards are at?
Okay. Well, they'll kind of look at each other, and one of them will go to you and be like, "Well, listen, I'll make you a deal. If you come across anybody who would you find out happens to be trying to, let's say, move undesirable things back and forth through this gate, you just ask for the two of us, and we'll make sure that they're taken care of properly." And he'll give you a nice big wink. Make me a perception check.
Wow, something I actually have skill on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yay!
18.
Are we doing this or not?
Oh, we are. Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Okay.
We've got the
then.
wonderful Whoopi.
We are doing this. We are doing this. You are not. You need to go away.
Okay. Bye.
Oh no.
Wait,
We're just finishing off a little bit of in-game story.
Okay,
first.
but are we for sure doing gifts or no? Because I've gotten 2 different answers.
No, because not everybody has theirs.
Okay.
Wait, was that a no?
Yes, because
I mean, I was fine with waiting
Have
if-
their present yet.
I'm down to wait too. Whatever works for everybody else.
Okay. Well, I got something special one way or another, so we'll do the special thing, and then we'll get back. And we can maybe do the gifts next week when they arrive, because yours Ember is stuck in transit. Is anybody else's stuck in transit that we know of?
Think so. Mine isn't, at least.
I
Yeah,
think
mine
it's
got there.
just me.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, because I am all-knowing and all-powerful. I know whose thing happens to be stuck in transit, and I am perfectly okay just being told what it is. If no, okay, all right, never mind then. That's fair.
not the true spirit
Showing
of
him a
Christmas.
showing him a picture.
Yeah.
This is
showing the
what you
pictures.
could have.
But
This
you
is what you
don't
could
get
have.
it.
All right, cool.
Hey,
We'll
I
wait
have
till
to
next week.
Admit, I did
Okay.
that one year with my wife at Christmas. It did not go over well.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh God, no.
Okay. Well, then we'll wait, and I'll do my other special thing instead, and we'll do that because it has nothing to do with the
Perfect.
Secret Santa. Absolutely. So, so Snagshmi, real quick, with your perception check, you were able to tell that these guards were planning on trying to find out who are sneaking things in and out of the city, so they could extort bribes out of the people doing smuggling.
Perfect. I'm gonna ask him, hey, if I ever wanted to get one of those coins so I could get people to come help, because I know how hard your guys' job is. How could I get one?
Oh,
I've always
well,
wanted to be a guard.
No, they'll look at each other nice and proud. Well, maybe when you're older, you can get one of the guard coins. They're distributed by the Gnomish enforcement out here. So only important people of the guards and nobles would be able to have the call. The call helps.
Could you guys
We don't want everybody to have them.
Could you guys walk me around out here and show me the places I shouldn't go to, just so the next time I'm out here it won't be a problem?
Last young sir, we're on guard duty, but you seem to have a pretty good head about yourself, so we'll let you go in and just don't cause too much problems over in the other part of town. It's a little seedy over there.
Okay, thanks for all the help. And then I whisper under my breath, fucking goddamn gnomes.
Sorry. Oh, that's the wrong button. All right, they didn't hear you. They rolled a 3 on their perception check to hear it.
Perfect.
All right, cool.
Perfect.
You head out into the outer city, and it is not, not much of it is alive. It's mostly a kind of a sewery type area. Let me show you where it is. Go. I'll switch it over. Kind of what it looks like.
Hey
So
guys, thank
along
you
the
for
river,
the follow. I
there's
appreciate
housing
it.
and what seems to be shipping, low-level shipping back.
You're amazing. Thank you.
Quick perception check.
All right, 1 second. Let me grab that real fast. There's the roll I was looking for.
Cool. You
Damn.
notice that there is a cut purse who is absolutely following you, preparing to try and knock you out and rob you.
I'm going to tell Princess Tiny Feet. I'm going to cast Speak with Animals just so I can talk to her
Okay.
real quick. I'm going to tell her to go off on the side, follow the guy behind me, try to herd him, stay back. We're going to try to get him into an alleyway so we can talk to him.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you'll set up an ambush for him. Make me a stealth check as you slip into an alleyway.
1 second. Let me grab this. I'm from Wyoming. I don't know how to read, apparently. Witch finger. Fuck you, Road Rash. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate
12 with the stealthy. All right. He botches his perception check. Cool. You set up an ambush
Huzzah.
for him. And as he goes around the corner, he looks back and forth. And then all of a sudden, Princess Tiny Feet in dog form from the ceiling throws a net onto him. And since he botched his perception check, he's flat-footed, completely unaware. Make me an attack roll. Don't miss.
Okay.
AC is...
Do you want me to burn a spell slot for the web or not?
No, this is more storytelling.
Okay, cool.
This won't apply for the
Sorry,
next one.
that was the wrong person.
No, that's for Princess Tiny Feet.
You just want like a base attack roll, or do you want a weapon?
No, that's fine. The because I saw the 16 is that you rolled will be enough to hit. So
Copy.
you throw it and he's caught up in the web and completely spurting. Oh my God! What's going on? What do you want? And he's struggling against it and is unable to escape from the web and the snare that you put together for him.
I am going to take off my little amulet so I look like a goblin.
Oh! Goblins in the city! Goblins in the city! Help!
Quiet,
Help!
quiet. I don't want to kill you, and you obviously are looking for money, yes?
What do you want? Help!
I want to give you a job.
What are you talking about? Goblins don't give jobs.
Ah. You were hoping to take money from small halfling child, yes?
What are you talking about? What did you do with the boy? I was following to protect him. I was looking out for him. It's clearly a dangerous city. Make me a perception check. I mean, he's clearly lying. You could tell from the earlier that he was a coin purse.
Oh my God.
But he's telling it really convincingly, but because you already could tell that he was sneaking up on you, that'll add enough to your perception check to be able to tell that he's not being honest.
I'm gonna take the amulet, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. Like, see, little boy and I are same. Let's calm down, calm down. Otherwise, Saint Bernard or a giant mastiff above you, you look hungry. She might eat you. I think it's in best interest that you be quiet. If you don't move, they can't sense movement.
What do you want? Quick, I'll do whatever you say.
You seem to know your way around here, right?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
How much money you normally make robbing people?
Well, that depends, I guess.
How would you like to make 100 gold pieces?
Cool, make me a praise check before you give that offer.
Oh, I have no intention of actually paying him, but yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you could probably 10 gold pieces would probably be plenty for him. 100 is an absurd amount. He
Normally,
might think it's a trap.
normally, if somebody proves that they're sneaky and they have good value, I tend to pay them 100 gold pieces over 4 weeks. But you got caught. How about I offer you 10 gold pieces and you do easy small job for me?
What do you want?
I am going to be back here this evening. I am looking for some people at the black market, and it'd be nice to have extra set of eyes. If you would like to be extra
Okay.
set of eyes, you meet me you meet me in this alleyway tonight when moon is high up in the sky. And I give you a better idea of what we will be doing. It'd be easy. You just have to watch.
Okay. How about a gold piece now, and I guarantee my service.
Do you like your legs? Because I think
Oh.
your legs are worth 1 gold piece.
Oh, no. I'll be here. I'll be here.
Good, good. What do you have in your pockets?
Oh, do you search his pockets, or do you just ask?
I'm gonna ask him. And
Oh.
if you're lying, I might have to look. And then I think I like both your legs.
Oh, just my, my dagger and, some coins, my personal effects.
Give me your dagger.
Okay. It's a poor quality dagger.
This dagger, it smells like you. And I'm sure you know
Oh.
druids are good at finding people based on how they smell. I see you
Well-
tonight, I give it back to you. I don't see you tonight. I'm going to give it back to you. But you won't like where it ends up. I am then
Oh.
going to walk away after I put on my little thing to make me look like a halfling again. And I'm going to bring the Saint Bernard or the Mastiff in tow.
Cool, fantastic. So you will be able to have an additional guide through the black market, who will be able to lead you exactly where you want. You also know about the bribing situation, so I'm going to jump over to Oz as well. That is okay.
Perfect, thank you. Hey, what's going on, Amanda? What's going on, Witchfinger? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't hit you guys back right away. We're in the middle of a Pathfinder campaign. It is ridiculous. We've got a gnome, we got a half-orc, we got Snagshme, the beautiful goblin, as well as a half-elf wizard, and Thorn, our mole person / troll barbarian. It's fucking nuts. But thanks for tuning in, guys. How are y'all doing? What's up? I'll be back in just a moment. Ah.
However you put it. What is the fight between your two groups?
Oh well, the Ravenlofts clearly blame my uncle for the death of two of their prominent members, Lord Rowan and Lady Esmeralda. And upon the train, of course, our families and theirs have never gotten along, and there is quite a bit of a feud up to the north about boundary line between our estates. I'm certain that they're just trying to weasel out any excuse to cause harm upon me and my family. At least the patriarchy is. not all of the members of the Ravenloft are so despicable, if you pick up my drift. But family, family blood ties, go run deep indeed.
Yes, I do understand your fascination with the blood of families. Um, in regards
He's
to
a little bit out of
who
drugs.
has the blame of death of Lord and Lady, uh, we clearly know that it's the doppelgangers that were trying to take over the train and spread their progeny. I can bear witness to this, as can the rest of my fellows who were aboard the train as well. Lord Gaylord had nothing to do with it. And truly, I wish to resolve the dispute between you and those individuals. I mean, there has to be some sort of common ground between your two families, is there not?
I mean, there is quite a bit, and to be honest, I'm thankful to hear that from you. I had my doubts myself that my uncle was not involved in such business. He is quite fierce when it comes to his dealings. But I'm certain that some form of arrangement can be put together. In fact, here, if you would be so willing, I think we could maybe come across and put something together between me and another member of their family. If you would be willing to, pass a piece of correspondence on my behalf to them. There's another member at the, oh gosh, what would I call it? The Perked Up, an establishment of trade and beverage, and you can drop it off with one of the members of the Ravenloft family, who I'm certain would be able to come up with some sort of idea to work beyond these foolish feuds.
Because the great city of Ruby, as you call your home, I think the people don't have time for such petty squabbles, as you put it. There's so much more to be gained from working together. And I honestly, coming from a society of people who live underground and were essentially fed the blood of a living god, I find this to be childish.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I quite agree. I think that our families don't need to argue and dispute back and forth. It is the sins of our great grandfathers and through our grandfather and our fathers that continue to cause such turmoil upon our bloodlines, and I would be more than happy to resolve such issues myself.
Will is such a good DM.
I
Jesus
myself
Christ.
come from a society of people who are broken into clans and broken into a lot of these different households. The Erd, Felsen, and Drek clans, as well as the Farar clans, would occasionally bicker with each other, but we never fell upon war with each other because when that happens, one at one point in time will dominate the other and eat their offspring. And I really would not want that to happen.
Hey, Witchfinger, thanks for joining in and watching, man. Glad you're here.
Well, here, you seem like a person with your heart in the right place, and I completely agree. And with a courier who is not known to be part of, my family, we can create correspondences back and forth with the youth of the other, with the Ravenloft, and perhaps we can, come up with some sort of arrangement to prevent future bloodshed between our people. Would you be willing to assist with this?
Of course, yes. I will gladly be your liaison to barter peace between your two families. While I am
The best artist. Oh my freaking god. Snort wax like an artist. That's how you get high.
as well from you, I need your help to become more civilized.
And he will brighten up at that. My good man, if you will be willing to assist me with my affairs, I will make you the dandiest of creatures upon this planet Earth. As the sun is my witness and the ground upon my feet, I will help you in these pursuits.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Damn the sun as well as my eyes. But the earth, I can claim, has good intentions, so that part I will take. I know that I'm starting to get a bit further along in becoming more civilized. I am now the proud owner of this fantastic hat that you see before you. I mean, this is a good start, is it not?
He loves the hat. Good sir, your fashion-forward sense is remarkable. I could not imagine a hat more suited.
So you guys know what he's wearing? His hat is a big derby hat, one that you normally see at the Kentucky Derby, like a woman's Kentucky Derby hat. The big wide brim is perfect. Actually, I'm going to see if Tilly can show us what the hat looks like.
To this world, and I do not know very much.
Such poise and sophistication from somebody who says they're new at this is mind-boggling, if you will say. He rolled incredibly well on his reaction to your hat. He thinks that is fantastic. In fact, I would be shocked if this was not the next fashion that will come forward in the city of Ruby.
Right, give me 1 second.
Mark my word.
I'm going to see if I can add it on there.
You will be a trendsetter in such ways. Yes, Tilly, absolutely. And with that, he will run off and get you some fantastic clothing, very, very frilly, with large amounts of lace and coating on it from his own personal collection, which is quite extensive, and give it to you as a gift, as means of friendship. Gain 100 gold pieces worth of nobility clothing.
And then Sam is also half orc as well, correct? Because he's Gaylord's nephew.
Correct. He is a half orc.
Okay, so we're about the same size. Okay.
Yeah, you're about the same size. In fact, you are a fantastic fit. It is almost as if it is destined.
Look.
And with that, he will
at that hat.
He will sign off
that hat is
and scent it as
the
well,
hat
and take a little bit of wax
of our
and put a
Thorn.
wax seal on it, and give it to you, and say that yes, this is to be brought to the unblinking eye, and give it to Gaston.
Actually,
Gaston, unblinking eye. Thank you. Mostly, I wanted to ensure that I look the part of a proper liaison.
1,000 more doodads. All of the doodads for days.
Like a common vagabond off the streets.
Yeah, you, good sir, could be seen in the fanciest of balls. In fact, I'm certain that there will be one later on during your stay, and I would be more than happy to make sure that you would be able to rub elbows with the correct societies.
Oh, I don't know about that. That might be moving a bit fast for my pace. I am a bit
nonsense,
of a
good fellow.
I'm a bit of a hill flower. It's a mull joke.
A hill mushroom. Fantastic. And with that, he'll hand off the letter to you to drop off. Yeah, fantastic. Here, we'll do this. Start broadcast. Let me see if. Oop,
If you guys
stop.
don't want to be on camera, let me know and I can try to remove your guys' camera. Just keep me posted.
You're good. I mean, good for me. I don't care.
Yeah, here I am. Oh,
I love your driving setup, by the way, Byron. It's beautiful. Please tell me you're playing
Yes.
Forza.
choo 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 choo. And with that, you head to the unblinking eye, and you ask for Gaston, and they point over to a man, what seems to be an old man huddled into the corner. Make me a perception check. You can absolutely tell that this is a young noble in disguise. Like, completely and totally. You recognize, now that Samuel gave you kind of the pointers on what to, identify as people who are higher class or not. There's just a certain air about him, which can tell that he is nobility, attempting to be inconspicuous.
My dear good sir, I
Oh.
was told.
Yes, continue on.
Well, I do appreciate your commitment to this ruse. It's not necessary. I was told to look for you specifically.
Shut your mouth, good man. Don't you? These are dangerous times that we are in right now. We don't want unsuspecting eyes to be seeing what's going on. He whispers at you, "Whoa, what's that, Sonny? What?"
Oh, forgive me, good sir. I seem to have confused you for somebody else.
Oh,
I
righto.
I am looking for a specific individual to deliver this message to. Where should I go for that correspondence?
Oh, here, it's perfectly fine. Leave it with me, and I'll make sure that it gets to the right person in hand. And he'll give you a wink. Yes, Gaston is my nephew, if you will. What a young lad he is.
And I'll kind of hand him the letter, but also give him like a very hearty slap on the back, saying like, "Oh yes, of course, I am understanding your meaning."
Oh, well, thank you very much. Livery son, and he'll take a look at it. Make me another perception check. Cool. You'll see him kind of be in his character and then start reading the letter, and he'll kind of slowly stop being in character and kind of soften up a little bit. And he's like, kind of forgetting that he's not in character anymore. And wait, is the contents of this true? Came from his hands?
I was there when he had written it.
And he'll kind of fluster and be bit and be like, remember that he needs to be in character. Good sir, good sir. Oh, my nephew will be quite upset about the contents of these letters, let me tell you. Very disconcerting. Here, be off with you. And he'll wave you away, but as he does, he'll slip some 10 gold pieces in your hand. And I best not be seeing you back here tomorrow morning. Be on your word. No more correspondences between us. Do you hear?
Yes, I will definitely not be here tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. And with that, he'll kind of almost skip out of the room, and that will be the end of that. Byron, we'll jump to you, and then if we also I'll do kind of my surprise little thing that I put together for you guys, and then Tilly, if you want a little RP thing that your character does, we can do that too since you're here now. It is up to you. I don't know how late people need to be up.
I don't know. I don't want to keep everybody up forever.
Okay, cool. So we'll do Byron's thing, and then I'll do my special thing real quick. So Byron, yes, you are there, and Carl's kind of sleeping in your, in your pocket. And how do you want to start this?
So I'm gonna kind of gently shake him a little bit. And, Carl,
What?
wake up.
Oh man, no! 5 more minutes, man.
No, I must insist. This is rather important. I need you to wake up. I know that you've had a long, busy day of sleeping in my robes, and you must be very, very tired from that. But I do insist you join the land of the living.
Oh, all right, man. Oh, and he'll kind of groggily kind of get out, kind of curl up, and scratch and jump over to a fruit bowl, and take a look at a banana, kind of make a disgusted sound, and throw it away, and grab like an apple and start eating it instead. Ugh, stereotypes, are you right, man? Ugh. What do you need, bro? What do you want?
Look, I had somebody I'd like to introduce to you. This, I will say, must be known as a friend. Not a replacement by any means. I don't want you to think that I am in any way trying to have our new friend take your place. So please, by no means worry about such things. But go ahead and pull out from behind my back the Lord Thunder in my hand and hold him out for Carl to see there.
All right. See Carl's reaction.
Lord Thunder is the bug-sized bear.
Lord Thunder will make a growling sound at him.
No, calm down there, little friend. I assure you, Carl here means you no harm. Isn't that right, Carl?
We've seemed to have lost our dungeon master. Guys, quick, everybody change your stats as quickly as you can. This is the time. We could take the city by storm.
I have 5 million gold.
One of these days, I would love for this to be Will just actually sitting there completely frozen like that, and then all.
Sorry about that.
You're back.
Damn it, he's back.
Haha, you thought you got rid of me, but you didn't. Ha ha ha. No, my phone died, so I had to switch over to my laptop, which works because this is part of the surprises. So he'll kind of look at it, poke at him. The bear will make a growl and say, "Hey man, wait, is this what I think it is?
If you happen to think that
You got me my own familiar?
Oh dear.
A little tear will run
Oh
down
my
his eye.
fucking god!
Very gently go and try and pick up the bug-sized bear, which is of course ferocious and try and attack at him. But he'll kind of grab around and pat at the bear.
Oh, no, be careful. He's much smaller than you. I'm glad you've taken a liking to him, and I don't know if you quite understand how the familiar wizard relationship works.
Can I have robes of my own that I can put him in? That would be so cool.
Oh my god!
You're not a wizard. I mean,
Oh my god, this is great.
If you want robes, my friend, we will get you robes, but you must understand that having robes does not make one a wizard, and ergo, as not being a wizard, you cannot have a familiar, as it were. But by all means, that is not. I know it's a shock, and I'm sorry.
Just give it to a man, he's so cute.
Carl, look, there's no reason that you and Lord Thunder here cannot be friends, the best of friends. If by familiar you mean best friend, then by all means, absolutely. Did we lose Will again?
Huzzah! Your bugbear is the best.
He couldn't handle it.
Or
Let Carl have him.
come on, give him a bear bug.
We'll see.
The bear book can have tiny wizard robes. And then you get Lord Thunder, a pet ant.
I
But
like
then where does it stop?
this was the best like money spent in this game by far. You have the best purchase, sir. Seriously. Jesus.
I'm liking it already. It seemed like a worthwhile expenditure. Hey, look who's back. Can't hear you though.
The look of concentration. The god in the skies, figuring out how to commune with his peons. Will they pray? Will their prayers be answered? Find out next week in To Talk to God, a motherfucking sorcerer edition.
Hello, hello.
There he is.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
We can hear you now.
Yes, okay, I got a nod there. Sorry about that. It seems like each time that I step away from this screen that I'm on with you guys, that it loses all audio connection. So that's what's funky going on.
Oh, hey, you're back now. That's all that counts.
Oh, now I can't hear you guys, of course.
Oh no!
Motherfucking sorcery.
Dear motherfucking sorcerer in the sky, please save our characters. Please keep us alive.
How's this? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Now we can't hear
Now I
you.
can't hear you.
This has now turned into a text chat adventure. It's the 90s all over again.
Will's screen is just gonna turn into one of those really old school like standby technical difficulties.
Wait, Will, do that scream voice one more time. Do the scream face.
He's fucking done with that.
He's over all of us.
We finally have just driven him off the edge. He can hear us. He's just fucking with us. I know it. This is what we've done to him.
Oh, he's signed out of Roll20. Uh-oh.
Maybe all of us should just hold real still, so when he comes back, we're all frozen.
Yeah, I love it.
DMs can only sense movement. That's how they tell what's going on. If there's no clickety clack of dice, they can't hurt us. That face, staring into the distance. God has looked into the void, and he is angry. He is displeased by the things that he has seen.
Aren't we all?
Try that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Cool, I can hear all you guys. Sorry about that. I was using Safari. Safari apparently did not want to work with Discord. So what was the last bit you heard?
I mean, I was talking to Carl. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard some of that. Did you hear him saying, wait, Matt, so you were saying best of friends. Did you hear his
Yeah.
response?
No. Okay, so that's right where it cut out. So
Got it. So, all right, his response is, wait, are you saying you and I aren't the best of friends right now? Isn't that what familiar means? And he'll be kind of sitting down on his monkey haunches.
No, Carl, you don't understand. When it comes to the relationships between a man and a monkey, you have multiple levels, and of course this extends to monkey and bug-sized bear as well. You have, best friend, and then you have familiar. That's a level above that. So I'm saying he could be your best friend because unfortunately he cannot be your familiar. But I and you have a bond that goes far beyond any mundane best friendery. I assure you.
Oh, man. He's like familiar light. But he is mine, right?
I mean,
I should love him and pet him and call him Thunderlord, Destroyer of Worlds.
that's good because do you understand him? Can you speak to him?
What? No, I just picked that name out of nowhere.
Oh, that's rather odd because I was told that was his name, but I can't speak to him either. So I guess none of us had advantage
Oh,
on that.
we should work on that.
I agree. And we live in a world of wonder. Likely there was a way for us to communicate on a more permanent basis. A quest, perhaps, for you and I to undertake together as master and familiar. Of course, the most important relationship of all. But when it comes to Lord Thunder here, Destroyer of Worlds, you absolutely can, on a trial basis, take care of him, and we'll see how that goes. In fact, our first mission is likely needs to be to secure arrangement for our new friend here, so he must maybe travel along with us in comfort and safety.
It sounds like a plan. We will make this happen. Thunder, I will take the best of care of you. And he'll kind of like go to pet at him, and the Lord Thunder will absolutely try and bite him again. Oh, he's a feisty one. And with
Yes,
that, between you and Carl, you're able to find something. You head over to the familiars, the familiary, we'll call it, in the Mages Guild.
I like it.
I am trying to.
Will is going to break so many rules so that he can talk to the monkey. That's amazing. This is the best. I love this.
Kind of like little wizard robes for Carl, which has his own wizard pockets in it as well.
My heart.
I love that. Again, these robes go over his already existent monkey armor.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's more of a stylistic thing at this point.
All right, gotcha. Take
And
him out
so the fractal familiar relationship will begin.
Love it.
Yes, Tilly, it is.
Cool. All right.
The fam.
So, that's those pieces. Tilly, you end up spending the entire day working with your mom. It is the most boring work that you have ever had to do in your life. You hated it so much. Like, and she is very strict about like 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunch. Like, hardcore, no drugs. She, in fact, tells you that they will be doing a drug test in about a month. So you're going to need to start cleaning up. And it is miserable. But you get 100 gold pieces for your signing bonus. So, you know, that's the thing. And that will be the beginnings of that, since we are not wanting to have people stay up all night as well.
Oh boy, thanks, Mom.
Yeah. So, I know that our original plan was to do the full gift exchange, but that we're still waiting on one thing. But I did happen months ago to did something special, and they were supposed to arrive about a month ago, so I would be able to finish them, but they haven't. So they just arrived today. So I'm going to show you them, the physical versions of them, and then I will also share screen with what I have. So one second, let me move this out of the way and grab this.
What he's waiting to tell us is that all of our characters are dead. We have failed, and we are putting in the. Oh my god!
Oh, no fucking way!
So I used Hero Forge back before everybody was doing Hero Forge of characters. And I have a family member who has a 3D printer, one of the dip ones, and had him print up the characters that I put together for everybody. These are the physical miniatures of your characters, which I was originally going to paint, but I might just send them to you guys so you guys can paint them as you will. And here, I'm going to share screen.
That's wonderful. Oh my god.
I love them so much.
Cool. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Oh.
No.
We can see your beautiful face.
Share my screen. Share.
His wonderful face. The face of God. Not destroying all of our people. You can tell he is not frozen by the way that he moves his eyes.
Doing new things with the computer, and I think it wanted me to go into settings to give it permission to share the screen.
You need no permission, for you are the god
Share your screen, but it
of
was locked.
Pathfinder.
System preferences. Here. System preferences. Could not load security and privacy. Got it. That's interesting. Could not load it. That's unusual.
I can't explain to you how big my heart feels to see what Snag
There
Shmee
we
looks
go.
like in real life. This is incredible. Will, I don't know if you're going to watch this video later, but you are amazing. Thank you so much.
Privacy. Sorry, it's taking me just an extra.
It's all good, dude. I am so
I need to
excited to
quit
see
it.
these characters.
And we've displeased him, and now he has abandoned us.
God has left us yet again. Ember, where is your God?
What we didn't realize is what he was about to show us is the characters figures for the new group.
Yeah,
He's
because really,
ditching us.
these figures are in memorandum because we just had a total party wipeout that he's going to tell us about. So here's our new characters for the 2021 campaign.
The gibbering maw killed us in the train. We have been dreaming on our way to the Nine Hells.
Don't go towards the light.
My God, how many steps? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, share my screen. Can you see now?
Something happened.
Yep, I
There
just
we
have to click
go.
on it. There we go.
Alrighty.
I see the great mighty Google.
Forge. Sorry. All right.
Select the stream. so
You
can
guys
watch it.
can't quite see what the miniatures look like that. So
You know, it's funny when you said, "Oh, I did something cool here." I had the thought like, wouldn't it be really cool if he like made minifigures of our characters and all that? No way. That would be too much. Like that, it'd be really cool. But I'm sure whatever else is cool, but it won't be that.
I look the
Mhm.
displeasure that your character constantly has. Just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is beautiful.
this is Alatar with his "What the fuck is everybody doing?" face.
I love it.
Kind of monocle.
Yeah, I gave him a monocle.
He's so
I
fancy.
figured that was fancy. There wasn't a way for me to get Carl on, so
He's
And the
in there.
color-
He's in
yeah, he's heading away. So that is Alatar. You can see that I've made several of these things. This is Snagshme.
With the hat.
I love the hat. He's so pretty. And he's got a human heart in his hand. Aww. He's such
Emblem,
a
that's your
hungry
switch,
boy.
right?
That's perfect. This is
That's
wonderful. I love this.
And then we'll go down. This is Taz.
Yes.
It's perfect.
The little cat.
I love it. Yeah.
Mr. Stabby, Mr. Death, and your third one, which is unnamed. So you do actually have a third magic dagger.
Soon I'll have a whole
It's
army of magic daggers.
Your
Yeah.
armor will be nothing but daggers. It's perfect.
And then we have
Life goal.
Thor.
Just a bolero of daggers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I made this before. I made this before you started getting into high fashion, so I might need to give you a new hat.
I don't know, man. It's very Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's a good setup.
It is pretty nice. I don't think they have quite.
Oh, there you go.
We can figure it out. The one we already have is already printed up though, so I would need to buy a new one, but I can share it with you. And you,
I can
there it is.
actually sculpt a hat for him. If you later on, if you want me to sculpt you a derby hat that you can put on top of the character, I will do that for you. Holy crap, this is beautiful.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
And-
pillbox hat.
But it
And
doesn't
then-
cover my eyes. Oh no.
And then we have Wookie here. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that she
So
has
there's-
like little files in her hand of what I'm assuming are drugs.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
They
100%.
Oh, it's
Drug
amazing.
vials, and there's more drugs on her person there, and then there's a little bottle with it too.
Fucking beautiful.
So, one sec, let me turn off that. So, that is these guys.
That's amazing.
So, Alatar, yours was the first one that we printed. He was using the green, but you spray paint it, and then you can paint it however you want. So, I don't know if you guys want to paint your miniatures yourselves or have me paint them. A pretty fair hand with a brush as well.
Honestly, if you
What
would
was
like
that?
to, if you'd like to paint mine, I'd love to see the work that you've done with it. This is so cool looking, dude. I would love to see what you would do if you'd like to paint it.
Yeah, like if you want to paint mine, like if that's something that you're like, oh, I enjoy that, I would love to see like your full deal on it. If not, by all means, don't feel like you have to do that. I enjoy painting myself, so either way.
I want to
Cool.
paint my own just because lately I've been curious about painting miniatures, so I'm gonna try it.
Thumbs way up.
Once upon a time, I used to have a ridiculous collection of miniature paints, which of course are back in the day when those stupid lids would not seal tight and they would dry up on you all the time. I don't have them anymore.
I completely understand. I have been there, done that. I have lost so many miniatures to full time. I'm trying to think it. I'm trying to see if I have any of my painted ones anymore. Most of them are at my folks' place.
I have one miniature left. I have a unicorn that I painted black and silver. That's the only miniature I still have left. I used to have so many of them, but I got rid of all of them ages ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my dad has an entire room of the house dedicated to his D&D stuff, including miniatures paint that he painted. And that was one of the first things that I used to do.
I would love to see that room. I bet that's a fucking dope room.
It's a dope room. My dad's world is kind of similar to mine, where it's gone on for year after year. And so right now his world, the party, even though they're fantasy people, are in a post-apocalyptic Fallout era of the world. So, they're dealing with, Fallout, post-apocalyptic robots and rad beasts and radiation, but there's still magic going on in the world, and that's been going on since the 80s, that game.
That
Same
sounds
group of
awesome.
friends from college.
That's just the best, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so and what about you, Oz? Would you want me to paint it or do your own?
I'm gonna take a crack at it. I'm gonna see if I can try and paint my own.
I have the three that I'll be doing the paint on over here, and then I'm guessing that Ember, you wanted me to do the paint, unless you want to.
I will try to see if I can resurrect some old skills.
Hell yeah. Cool. So I have the two that I will be doing because Byron, you said that you enjoy doing the paint though as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've painted a few miniatures. I'm into it. My brother-in-law, Tilly and I's brother-in-law, is like huge into painting miniatures, so I'm sure he could set me up with anything else that I don't already have. But again, like by all means, if it's something you like really like doing and want to do because you made the figures, like I would love to have a full-on like wheel production mini there. So totally up to you on that one.
I would love for you to paint mine. Like your character like this character sheet was made by you, and I love what you're doing. So if you wouldn't mind painting mine, I'd really appreciate it. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat too. That's exactly. I just don't want you to be like, oh, it's a chore. So if that's something that you don't want to do, that's totally
Same.
cool, and I'm happy to do it.
Not a chore at all. These are meant to bring joy to people. So if more joy is brought by doing the painting, then I encourage doing the painting. And if more joy is to see what I would do, then I'll be happy to do it. Cool. Well, with that, it's, I'm guessing, bedtime for the people over in Arizona. So I would say that we're not going to be playing on Christmas Eve.
Probably not.
So
I mean, if you guys want to
So,
do something earlier that week, I'm cool with that. But if we need to take a week off, that's also cool.
Oh, how about we decide that over the group chat, and we will go
Well-
forward with that.
I've got a question. Is anybody free Saturday night this week?
And I definitely could
It's
be. I don't know.
I probably should be
Looking, I'm
spending
in-
time with Ashley.
Okay.
That's a good choice.
That's the
So if
best
anybody
choice.
wants
Yeah.
to do Ghostbuster.
Yeah, if any of
Oh,
you guys want to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
Ghostbusters on Saturday, I'm going to be doing some Ghostbusting after this if you guys want to join in. But then Saturday night, if you guys want to either play a different game or do some Ghostbusting on Saturday, I am always down.
All right.
So what is
Yeah,
this
so-
ghost busting?
Phasmophobia.
Oh, got it. I thought you were talking about like the Ghostbuster video game,
I mean,
which there is
I'd be
actually
down for
a
that too.
canon Ghostbuster video game.
Well, I wanted to bring this up to you because everybody else kind of knows. We've got a Discord called Among the SLITLIDs, which is basically just us drunk streaming games together. So if you have a night that you're free and you see that we're on, we're coming up with random challenges for when to drink. It's basically open to anybody that wants to just stream a game or just kind of hang out with us. I think Saturday night we'll probably do
Yeah.
Among the SLITLIDs and do some ghost bunning. I'm going to be doing that tonight too if anybody wants to join in. So like we're basically trying to find a way for us all to hang out while this pandemic is still going on. So you're invited. Ashley, of course, is invited, obviously. And for everybody else, if you guys know anybody that want to jump in and be a part of it, or if you guys want to stream a movie or something some night, like just put it up in the group chat. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, I should throw. I'm having a desperate urge to watch their exports with people, so I might need to throw that in there.
Fuck yeah.
Exports. Now, are you talking about the English dub Japanese game show exports?
No. Rare
No,
exports.
Rare Exports. It's a Krampus film. It is a foreign
Oh,
film,
got it.
but it's specifically about Krampus.
That
Gotcha.
sounds-
Krampus
I've never-
Nutch.
I'm down. I'm down for some Krampus.
Yeah, depending on what my schedule is, I will, work on my availability. So, I guess the final thing that we need to figure out is Secret Santa. Maybe when it arrives, we'll all talk and maybe spend 15 minutes to do the Secret Santa gift exchange.
Yeah, I think
Works
that
for me.
I mean, doesn't need to be a full
That
game
sounds
night.
like a plan.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a full game night. If that's good for everybody.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah,
it has
I
been
just
a delight. Okay, go
I
ahead.
just double checked my tracking, so maybe like Friday or Saturday.
Cool. Maybe tomorrow then. We might be meeting up again tomorrow and hitting that up, or Saturday, and we'll jump on and make that happen.
Saturday would
Here's
work
some-
better for me if that's possible. Friday night I'm booked tomorrow night.
Got it.
Here's my little cute little tree.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Perfect.
So, all right. Well, until I guess later this week, I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and I look forward to continuing to write in. I took extra notes on the stuff that Ember put together and all of the backstory that is going on, and it'll create new interesting things for everyone.
Perfect.
Great job,
Yay!
Will. Thanks as always, and
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
talk to you
Bye.
guys soon.
I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Love you.
See ya.
Bye.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks again. I know this was a little bit shorter of a Pathfinder game because we had people all over the place, but we will be hopping on Phasmophobia in a little bit. If you would like to join in, just hop back on. We might be looking for more people to play, so just you can look up for Among the Slitlids in the Discord if you'd like to join in. It's among space the space slit. I think Slitlids, or just hit me up on here, and you guys are welcome to join. As always. Welcome to the warm embrace of the trash fire. We're happy